the Arabian Desert. For centuries, it conjured images of endless sand dunes and scorching sun. Today, a new image is emerging, one of towering skyscrapers and bustling cities. Saudi Arabia, the world's oil giant, is undergoing a dramatic transformation. The driving force? Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, known as MBS. His plan, Vision 2030, is as audacious as it is ambitious. It aims to create a diversified, knowledge-based economy. At the heart of this vision is the Public Investment Fund, PIF. From megacities to technology companies, PIF is placing bets across sectors. But the path to transformation is fraught with challenges. Can it reform its society at a pace that matches its economic ambitions? For decades, Saudi Arabia has been synonymous with oil. The black gold has fueled its economy and shaped its global influence. But this reliance makes the kingdom vulnerable to global energy market swings. Vision 2030 marks a decisive break from the past, aiming for a diversified economy driven by innovation and technology. It's about transforming society, fostering entrepreneurship, and empowering youth, building a future defined by aspirations, not just oil. A successful transformation would secure Saudi Arabia's economic future and redefine its global position. The Public Investment Fund, PIF, is the engine driving Saudi Arabia's economic transformation. Established in 1971, PIF was initially tasked with financing domestic development projects. Today, it has evolved into a global investment behemoth, with assets estimated at over $620 billion. Under the leadership of MBS, PIF has taken on a far more ambitious role. It is no longer just an investor. It is a strategic architect, tasked with identifying and nurturing the industries of the future. From renewable energy and artificial intelligence to tourism and entertainment, PIF is placing bets across a broad spectrum of sectors. PIF's investment strategy is twofold. Domestically, it is spearheading the development of mega-projects like NEOM, a futuristic city being built from scratch in the desert. Internationally, it is acquiring stakes in global companies like Uber, SoftBank, and Lucid Motors. This dual approach reflects the ambition of Vision 2030. It aims to create a vibrant domestic economy while also establishing Saudi Arabia as a global investment powerhouse. PIF's success or failure will be crucial in determining whether Vision 2030 can deliver on its promise of a transformed Saudi Arabia. PIF's investment portfolio reads like a who's who of global business. It has acquired stakes in companies like Uber, SoftBank's Vision Fund, and Lucid Motors, signaling its appetite for cutting-edge technology and innovation. It's also invested heavily in gaming, with stakes in Activision Blizzard and Nintendo, tapping into a rapidly growing global market. But PIF's investments aren't limited to the tech sector. It has also made headlines with its acquisition of English Premier League football club Newcastle United, a move seen as part of a broader strategy to enhance Saudi Arabia's global soft power. These high-profile investments have drawn both praise and criticism. Supporters point to the potential for these investments to generate significant returns and attract foreign capital to Saudi Arabia. Critics, however, question the lack of transparency in PIF's decision-making process and raise concerns about the potential for political influence in its investment choices. Despite the criticism, PIF's global shopping spree continues. It is a clear signal that Saudi Arabia is serious about its ambition to become a global investment powerhouse. Whether these investments will pay off in the long run, however, remains to be seen. While PIF is busy investing globally, it's also undertaking some of the most ambitious construction projects the world has ever seen. These Giga-Projects are designed to be nothing less than cities of the future, showcasing Saudi Arabia's technological prowess and economic ambition. The most audacious of these is NEOM, a $500 billion megacity being built from scratch on the Red Sea coast. Envisioned as a hub for innovation, technology, and tourism, NEOM promises to be a model of sustainability, powered entirely by renewable energy. Then there's the Red Sea Project, a luxury tourism destination being developed on a chain of pristine islands. And Qiddiya, a sprawling entertainment city that aims to be the capital of entertainment, sports, and the arts. These projects are not just about building structures, they're about creating entirely new ecosystems. The scale and ambition of these Giga-Projects are staggering. They are attracting some of the world's leading architects, engineers, and technology companies. But they also face significant challenges, from logistical hurdles to environmental concerns. Whether these projects can live up to their hype and deliver on their promises remains to be seen. PIF's vast portfolio and ambitious mandate have created an interesting dynamic within the Saudi economy. With so much capital at its disposal, PIF has become a dominant force, often competing with the very private sector it's supposed to be fostering. This has led to concerns about crowding out private investment. Some argue that PIF's involvement in certain sectors discourages private companies from investing, fearing they cannot compete with a state-backed entity with unlimited resources. Moreover, the concentration of power within PIF has raised concerns about transparency and accountability. With decisions often made behind closed doors, there's limited oversight over how public funds are being used. The challenge for Saudi Arabia is to strike a balance between PIF's role as a driver of economic transformation and the need for a vibrant and competitive private sector. Finding this balance will be crucial for the long-term success of Vision 2030. PIF's ambitious investment strategy comes with a hefty price tag. To finance its spending spree, PIF has been relying heavily on debt, raising billions of dollars through bond issuances and loans. While Saudi Arabia's low debt-to-GDP ratio provides some cushion, this reliance on debt is not without risks. Increased borrowing costs could strain government finances, especially if oil prices experience a prolonged downturn. Moreover, the sustainability of PIF's investment strategy hinges on generating sufficient returns to service its debt. If its investments fail to deliver as expected, it could lead to a debt crisis, jeopardizing the entire Vision 2030 plan. Saudi Arabia is walking a tightrope. It needs to attract foreign investment and diversify its economy, but it also needs to manage its debt levels prudently. Failure to strike this balance could have dire consequences for the kingdom's economic future. Saudi Arabia's economic transformation is taking place against a backdrop of heightened geopolitical uncertainty. The rivalry with Iran, the war in Yemen, and the shifting alliances in the Middle East all pose significant risks to the kingdom's stability. These geopolitical tensions can deter foreign investment, disrupt trade routes, and undermine investor confidence. The recent attacks on Saudi oil facilities are a stark reminder of the kingdom's vulnerability. Moreover, Saudi Arabia's ambitious foreign policy, often at odds with its Western allies, could create diplomatic tensions and complicate its efforts to attract foreign investment. The murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi continues to cast a shadow over the kingdom's international reputation. Navigating these geopolitical risks will be crucial for Saudi Arabia's economic transformation. It needs to maintain stability, reassure investors, and manage its regional relationships effectively to create a conducive environment for growth and prosperity. Saudi Arabia's economic transformation is not just about building skyscrapers and investing in technology. It's also about transforming its society, its culture, and its people. This human element is perhaps the most challenging aspect of Vision 2030. For decades, Saudi Arabia has been a deeply conservative society, with strict social norms and limited opportunities for women. Vision 2030 aims to change that, promoting gender equality, empowering women, and creating a more open and tolerant society. While progress has been made, changing deeply ingrained social norms takes time. Resistance to change, particularly from conservative elements within society, could slow down the pace of reform. The success of Vision 2030 depends not just on economic indicators, but also on its ability to create a society that is more inclusive, more tolerant, and more in tune with the demands of a globalized world. This human transformation, if successful, will be the most enduring legacy of Vision 2030. Saudi Arabia's vision. 2030 is a bold and ambitious plan. It's a recognition that the old model of relying on oil wealth is no longer sustainable. It's a bet on the future, a gamble that diversification, innovation, and global investment can transform the kingdom into a global economic powerhouse. But the road ahead is fraught with challenges. The reliance on debt, the competition with the private sector, the geopolitical risks, and the need for social reform all pose significant obstacles. Whether Vision 2030 will succeed in transforming Saudi Arabia remains to be seen. It will require deft economic management, political will, and the support of the Saudi people. The stakes are high, not just for Saudi Arabia, but for the entire region. The world is watching Saudi Arabia's transformation with a mixture of hope and skepticism. The success or failure of Vision 2030 has implications far beyond the kingdom's borders. A successful transformation would not only secure Saudi Arabia's economic future, but also serve as a model for other oil-dependent economies in the region. It could usher in a new era of prosperity and stability in the Middle East. However, if Vision 2030 falters, if the debt burden becomes unsustainable, if social unrest grows, the consequences could be dire. It could lead to economic crisis, political instability, and even regional conflict. Saudi Arabia is at a crossroads. The decisions it makes today will determine its destiny for generations to come. The world waits to see whether Vision 2030 will be a mirage or an oasis in the desert.